Okay, I'm Bill White.
I'm Camille White.
And this is a 1972 Scout 2 that we had reborn.
Okay, well the history here is my name is Camille, and I was living in Utah at the time I bought the Scout. I was not even really looking for a Scout. However, one day I was visiting my folks, and a friend of my dad's pulled into the driveway, and I saw that he was driving the Scout, and I go, ooh, I like that. And so we got to talking, and I was living out on my own then, and I needed something that I wanted to go camping in, because I'd had a 1970 AMC Hornet, and by the time I put the canoe on it and went camping up at some alpine lake in the Uintas, it looked out of place. And so I thought this would be the perfect rig for it. So I talked to the guy, and he said he was actually a gentleman that had worked for the post office, and he had bought a couple of Scouts for the post office workers, and he liked the car so well that he decided that maybe his wife would like one as well. So I bought one for his wife. Well, she decided she didn't like it. And so, even though I'm not the original owner, I almost feel like I am, because he'd only put about 300 or 400 miles on it when I bought it. And so, so I bought it and used to go up to a little place actually in the Uinta, or actually it was in the Rocky Mountains between Logan and Ogden, Utah, at a little place called Tony's Grove. Very pristine, beautiful little lake. And friends and I would go up there, and I'd put the canoe on, and we'd go camping up there for a weekend or during the week or something like that. And we had a ton of wonderful experiences in it. But I think one of the deciding factors that made us decide that we wanted to get something done to the Scout was one time when we were we're now living in Washington State. We'd gone up to a little place called Twin Lakes up by Mount Baker. And it was, we're at about, what, 6,000 feet then? Something like that, 6,000 to 7,000 feet, maybe, because we were
fairly high
up. And it was an old Forest Service road that didn't have much work on it. And we were going up a pretty steep incline, and, you know, excuse me, about, what, 15-degree incline, something like that. And we had these big rocks to go over. And at that time, this car was only a two-wheel drive. And we would go up over it, and typical of Scouts, the carburetor would die on us. So
once you got the car past a certain angle, the carburetor did not function well.
And anybody that knows Scouts is probably very familiar with that. And so we tried it, and we backed down, get the carburetor working again, go back, try to get back up over this hump, conk out on us again. So the third time we got up, we got a little bit farther up, but we got stuck in the rocks when the carburetor kicked out on us. And the sad part about it was, as a Jeep came along and says, "Hey, you guys need a pole?" And so that was kind of embarrassing. And so
yes.
Okay, so
I feel better. I can compete with the Jeeps now.
Yeah.
Yay.
So yeah, that's kind of was too many times that happened to us, and we decided that we needed to either sell it or get something done to it, but we liked it enough that we decided to have an overhaul done.
After we stopped using the car to commute to work and so forth, it had a few problems, and I kept trying to fix things, but it sat in the garage for about 20 years, keeping reasonably unrusty and all that good stuff. But we finally decided we had enough spare change, we could get the car actually worked on by somebody who knew what they were doing. But it was in reasonably good shape, but it had just been sitting forever before it went to Anything Scout. So we'd sort of almost given up trying to get it to life ourselves. Yeah, we for Anything Scout, we saw their drivability conversion about rewiring things, the whole thing. And up front, we always wanted to have it four-wheel drive instead of its original two-wheel drive, because what's the point of having a Scout if you can't have it in four-wheel drive, for heaven's sake? I mean, it's like everybody looked at me cross-eyed when I told them it was only two-wheel drive. and I definitely wanted that changed. I did not like the engine. I considered that 258 kind of a dog, pardon the expression. I needed more horsepower to get it to operate nicely. This is even more than I need, but this is wonderful. We wanted them to, of course,
basically do their
the LS conversion.
Well, now that we have the truck, what we're hoping to do is in Washington State. There's a lot of great campgrounds they have, whether it's boondocking type, or regular campgrounds. But a lot of them are on the smaller side, and so we have a bigger truck and trailer. But now we kind of want to try out and go to some of these more remote campgrounds and stuff like that. And I think the Scout, if we could find a small lightweight trailer to pull behind it, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then there's just some great roads that we're not very far. We live right basically in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains, and there's a lot of neat roads and trails to go on. So we're hoping to now be able to go on them and not have to worry about a dead carburetor. And just say if anybody else is out there that has an old Scout that was a dog like this one used to be, go to Anything Scout and have them do their magic. They're a great group of people to work with.